What's good everyone, it's Zigzag here, welcome back to another Geoguessr video. As you're watching this one, I'm going to be over in Japan. I'm also going to be streaming a bunch in real life there, hopefully, so go check out the Twitch in the description and see if I'm live right now. But anyway guys, we're going to be trying some of the new world record category, an arbitrary rural world. The world record sits at 39 by Shimmy. My best is 34, which I think puts me in second place, and I'm going to try and get that world record today. We'll see if we can pull the dub here, and the first round here brings us to northern New Zealand, I would say. Rolling landscape like this plus these bollards, I would definitely associate that with like kind of around Hamilton or Northland. I'll try Northland here, and it was closer to Hamilton instead, but that's okay. So that brings us to 1. Next one here is definitely feeling like Finland. And I could see other countries working, but I'll just go Finland here as the most likely, and it was right on the Russian border there, very close indeed. It's kind of rare to see it that far over. Next one here, we do have an antenna, which is interesting. I think this might be Spain. It kind of gets a bit of like a Pyrenees kind of vibe, in my opinion. A lot of pines as well, so yeah, definitely kind of higher altitude. I could also see Bulgaria working quite nicely here. The road quality is rather poor, and it's also a very like pale road, which I would associate with Bulgaria. So now I'm actually thinking more of like Bulgarian Greek mountains here, and I'll opt for Bulgaria this time. And it was Greek instead. That's okay. Perfectly acceptable, I think. I mean, you know, we narrowed it down to 2, and then you just sometimes can't get it. Next one here, it feels like the UAE to me, and am I crazy for thinking it might be Sir Bunias Island? I don't know if Sir Bunias Island actually looks like this, but we have a bunch of weird trees, so I'm going to give it a go. Okay, well, it's just normal UAE. It's still the same country, so we're fine. Next one here is just going to be South Africa here. Let's just send it in near those tabletop mountains. Was quite a bit further out, but that's fine. A good first seed, all things considered. The Greek round was definitely gettable, but, you know, sometimes you lose that 50-50. Next one here, we got a Kenyan pole top. Very thin insulators here. You see that around Kenya. Let's go Nairobi. Was a bit further north, that's fine. Next round here, ooh, we got the Kyrgyzstan car. Makes life nice and easy as well. I don't really worry about region guessing when we're going for a high streak. Next one here, going to be somewhere in Mongolia. I actually do want to region guess this one because I've been practicing a little bit. I think this is actually the car that you find all the way out here, maybe. So yeah, I think I will go like here even. And okay, it was like quite a bit further east, that's okay. This one is South Africa, just go somewhere around here. South African pole tops and everything, plus a bit of green in that area, works nicely. Next one here is going to be somewhere in Botswana. Now, when you get this really kind of grey and a little bit overcast, but very grey looking sky, I would associate that all the way east here. And now if we don't, it's not really a paved road, but it is kind of going east-west. I don't know. It's this road or this road, and I guess with the road angle, I guess this is kind of more likely. So I'll go for that. Okay, it was this one instead. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, a bit of east-west, but also a bit further south. Yeah. So there we go. That was 7 in a row by now. Definitely 3 rounds there. None of those were remotely difficult, which is exactly what we like to see, honestly, because we've got to run up the streak. This one is the Sri Lankan car. Although, why are people driving on the right-hand side of the road here? I don't know. Should be the Sri Lankan car with the blue on the left and the red on the right. And the landscape also fits perfectly, so I'm really happy to go here. And it was indeed there. Next one here. Ooh, this is a bit more interesting now. So, we got like a bunch of ferns on the side of the road here. These trees are like very Spanish, but this can also be Portugal. In fact, I think I'm more partial to Portugal than Spain at this point. Definitely one of the two, in my opinion, though. Unless it was very strange. The camera also feels very low, so I'm just trying to think if anything could actually fit for that, but no low cam countries actually fit, so I would say that this was indeed. Ooh, what about Mexico? Ooh, Mexico just came to mind here. It's very interesting how similar Spain and Mexico can look sometimes. I'm actually between Portugal and Mexico here, which is strange. Just because of the pavement here, these kind of stones in the pavement almost feel a bit Mexican, and the fences do too. But surely not. I mean, that would be a bit rough. It would be a bit rough, I think. I'm going to go for Portugal. I don't think this is Mexico. And it was Spain. Okay, well, there you go. I mean, at least it wasn't Mexico, right? Next one here is going to be somewhere in... not much comes to mind here, if I'm honest with you guys. I'm not sure where this should be. I'm actually just going to reset the seed because I don't want to embarrass myself and go for a bad guess. So let's head through to the next one here. I mean, that was in a shadow, guys. We couldn't see much at all. Okay, next one here is Bulgaria, I think. Yeah, it's a Bulgarian pole top. And I've had this round before. I think this is this map's got like 100,000 locations, but I've definitely had this one before. And I'm trying to think if it was actually Bulgaria. I mean, surely it was. It looks like Bulgaria, so I'm happy to go, but yeah, it was. Okay, nice. Definitely a repeat, but it was just the standard guess, that's fine. This one is actually going to be somewhere in Quebec. We have the Quebec kind of turning arrow here, the chevron. Very interesting Quebec. Should be right near Ontario for my money. Like, it doesn't feel really that Quebec. And I guess it was, kind of. Next one here should be somewhere in Greece. Really tall wooden pole. Kind of feels like this island here. It was nice. Kind of definitely has a unique vibe, that kind of place. This one, when I see this Nigeria with the red car and it kind of looks like Kenya, I definitely think the Nigerian parts that look like Kenya are all the way like facing Kenya, like all the way as close as you can guess to there. So like kind of this area here, Gaboko or something like that. And it was near Gaboko there, so that's a nice guess as well. Next one here, we got the Japanese kind of, everything's Japanese here. Long grass as well. And like very tropical here, so I would have thought maybe even Okinawa or just like southern Kyushu here. And it is actually Shikoku there. Very interesting. We're back up to 5 here. Just one little blunder so far in the video, but hey, that's okay. And a good score there as well, so happy with that. Let's see what we got next here. Ooh, Generation 2, huh? This is interesting. So, it's kind of a poor road quality. This could almost have been Germany or something, were it not for the fact that it's very rural and this kind of coverage doesn't exist too much in Germany. So, France comes to mind here. I also thought of Ireland, weirdly enough, but I think the road's too pale. So, like, France or Italy actually fit better, especially with the pale road. Maybe Italy is actually quite legitimate here. It feels alpine, it does, but it's also very flat, so that's I guess the concern. Really between those two, I don't think too much else is that possible, I think. Unless it was like the weirdest Canada. This would be a very like thin road for Canada. Normally, like a Canadian, even an off-road that's paved would be at least like, 1.5 times the width. So, Italy or France? I don't know. It's a legitimate question here. I think France maybe just based on like the wildflowers and everything, but Italy's still so possible. And it was actually Belgium. Okay. Not a great guess there. As I said, it did kind of feel like Germany, so I guess, we're very close to Germany there. It does make sense on that level. But yeah, not the greatest. This one just felt very Cambodian, so I'm just going to send it in. It is correct, so that's at least something. This is very familiar. I think this looks like Scotland. Yeah, we have this kind of like reflector in the road. They're very UK things, so I think it is Scotland somewhere. And wow, we got the right area there. Very nice indeed. Definitely those ones help out, especially on no moving, panning, or zooming. So definitely keep an eye out. We have a Brazilian license plate there with a blue strip on the top, so kind of a useful one if you don't know it. This actually looks like a Cambodian pole. So I guess we're in Cambodia here. Not a typical round, so I think we must be like all the way out east here or something like that. And wow, we picked the right road. That's crazy. Almost. But yeah, Cambodian poles, they're round. They have lots of dots in them, but round instead of square like the Thai ones. So obviously, that was a nice guess to end off that seed. Bit shameful with the Belgium, or at least, not a great guess, but I guess not shameful, but not a great guess. We could have done better there. Next one here, Romania, surely. Yeah, Romanian pole top, holy poles. Yeah, we should be fine here. Should be fairly southern. It is just near Bucharest there. Next one here. Thought immediately of Sri Lanka, just because we have white center lines here. I don't think that this is anywhere in Malaysia, and then I think I would know this if it was in Indonesia. So I think basically kind of has to be. I would have thought this kind of, maybe it actually could be Malaysia in hindsight, but I still think Sri Lanka's better with these bollard things. Don't really recognize those for Malaysia, so I've played a fair bit of Malaysia. That's my reasoning here. I'm going to go for Sri. And it was actually, it was Sundas. That makes sense here. So yeah, definitely a tough round. Yeah, I mean Sundas, like they have very varied like climate there. It can go from dry to very green like that in like from one valley to the other, So kind of an interesting one there. That was definitely going to be Indonesia with the pole top. This one is France, I believe. We have like a snow pole, which you do see in France every now and again. Southern indeed. This one is an easy Argentina. We got like the African style trees with the kind of wide canopy, and then also that black car, so that obviously makes life nice and easy. I really want to kind of recreate that success we had in episode 1 here, guys. I really do believe we can. Just have to start playing a bit more nicely. Is this road here? I think it's actually something else in Russia, but I can't really work out what. Maybe it was this road here. No, I don't think it is either. So, yeah, maybe it's like Magadan, outskirts of Magadan. I can't work out what exactly this is. It's something northern Russia, but I don't exactly know where. Yeah, Bratsk. Interesting. Wow. Wouldn't have picked Bratsk there, but hey, I didn't. So yeah, I guess it makes sense. Here we go for Yukon, I believe, or Alaska. Yukon feel better, so I'll just go for it. What's Yukon? Nice. Hard to explain why. I guess like you just kind of get a feel for the different coverage up there. That kind of autumn stuff or whatever season it was. Felt more like that. Okay, this is an interesting round. It's so rocky in the soil. It almost made me feel like we're in Sumba Island here. But that would be crazy, because this is very European feeling, to say the least. But then again, you do see very European looking stuff down there. I think this road is a little bit too pale for Indonesia. And so I think maybe Croatia works the best here, like all the way south. Alternatively, like maybe... I don't know, like Spain, I guess, would be my next choice. I'll go for Crow, and it was Spain. Okay, yeah. Makes sense. Maybe, like, yeah, Croatia might be looking a bit different there. That might be a bit of a throw, but ultimately, like, you know, at least I got down to 2 countries. This is maybe northern Italy could make sense here. Just the very flat, but kind of foggy landscape. Maybe Hungary could work well as well here. I don't know. It's a very strange feeling round. I'll go with my initial gut here, and it was northern Italy. Yeah, I feel like a Po Valley almost sometimes has like a bit of polluted air. Would that sound right to you guys? I'm not sure if that actually tracks at all, but just a thought I had. Next one here is Ukraine, I would say, maybe Russia. The road's slightly pink, which I often like for Ukraine, so we'll see if it's right. It was Russia instead. I think I would still go Ukraine there most times, but maybe it was like a bit too cold. This is actually a Malaysia with lines that looked like they were yellow, but they're actually just white with like this kind of reddish dust painted onto them, or, you know, driven all over them, so it's okay, up there in Kedah. Next one here is, this one actually feels like stuff I've seen in Alaska before. So I feel like this, now it went to, so the coverage kind of goes off from, I think Fairbank, might end at like Eagle or something like that. Where does it end now? It goes out to like some of these places here, maybe Birch Creek or something like that could work here. I feel like it is, and there's Fort Yukon in Alaska, interesting. I think this is something up here though. Oh no, it wasn't. Okay. I guess the side roads can look quite similar, but I've definitely seen very similar looking rounds in Alaska recently, so serves me for actually practicing, right guys? That's annoying. This is New South Wales or Victoria, I assume. Yeah, it was, okay. I sent there and I was like, oh, could this actually be Europe or something? I don't know. Anyway, this one we have a ton of palms, the black car, and the woman wearing a headscarf riding the motorbike up ahead. So I guess the only 2 thoughts here are really Bangladesh and Indonesia, and I think Indonesia should be better. The only concern really is the fact that we have white lines, whereas a lot of the time in Indonesia, they do tend to prefer yellow ones, especially in Generation 4 camera. So that's kind of interesting. I think the sky's a bit too clear to be Bangladesh, where you often get like much more polluted skies. And it was indeed there. Very good. Okay. So, yeah, obviously Yukon ruining our fun a little bit there, but that's okay. So let's just try and like really concentrate on getting some dubs out here. This feels like Mexican bollards. We got cacti everywhere, so it should theoretically be good for something like that. Was Puebla instead. Next one here. Okay, similar kind of deal here. This time I do think Canada is the better shout though instead of Alaska. Surely we're right. This time it is all the way north, again on that same road, the number 5. Which I guess is it is the road to Inuvik there, so interesting stuff. Next one here, easy Tunisia with the white dashes on the outside of the road, and we even get a region guess there, which is nice. Next one here is Turkish, and yeah, so Turkey is one of the only countries where you see this white car with a short antenna. It's often off-center as well, so really easy to tell when you have that. And then rock walls I would associate with probably west, so somewhere out here. Kind of feels, you know, old-timey, but it was actually all the way out there, so I guess, you know, people have been living in Turkey for a long time, and so it's no surprise that you get them all around the country, but gave me a bit more of a European vibe, I must admit. Anyway, easy South Africa to end off the seed there with the yellow apple lines, so we're back up to a streak here. This is going nicely. I'm going to really, like, calm things down here, try and play nicely on this last little bit. Should be somewhere in Philippines with this pole top. It makes life nice and easy when you have poles on the rural maps. This also is Philippines, and this is north, I believe. So these kind of dryish hills with like some trees, some untrees, yes, some lack of trees is really good for north. Could also be south, but I don't think it's in the middle, so we'll see. And it was north indeed. Okay, nice. Next one here, US or Canada. Ooh. So, this is a bit more interesting, guys. It's more interesting than it seems. It's very dry, and yet something about the dirt feels a bit Canadian to me in a strange way. I think it is still US. Like this pole top with like kind of the cross is more common in the US than Canada, generally speaking, I would say. Or at least like it's a bit low. The crossbar's a bit low for Canada. So I think ultimately it probably is just Nebraska, Kansas, but wouldn't be surprised if it was Alberta or something. I would not. And I didn't just do that. What the heck? That's why it felt so strange. Wowie, that is I still think I don't get that right, you know. That's just a superbly panned South Africa. Like obviously this direction is so easily South Africa with the car. And as I said, the crossbar was feeling a bit low. It was even low for the US. That's a South African pole right there. So I still think like, yeah, the fact that it was a dirt road obviously sent it does send alarm bells for the US because there's not too much dirt road coverage around the US, so makes sense, I guess. Next one here, yeah, I thought of Brazil initially. Now I could actually see other countries. I might just go straight for it here in case. Yeah, I don't want to waste too much time on round number 1. Okay, this one we have long antenna, and yeah, I think the long antenna makes life a bit interesting here because I would have thought of like Croatia or something where long antenna is basically non-existent. So if it looks like Croatia, maybe it's a bit further north here. Maybe it's like Poland or something like that. I could see Poland, Czechia working quite nicely here. Maybe even Slovakia. Maybe South Poland. Yeah, I'm just gonna go for that. It seems decent. It is North Poland there, actually. That's a very difficult round, but ultimately you don't, I guess, like, you know, you just pick one, and Poland seemed the most likely because it's kind of bigger. This is Australia. I actually don't know the state here. Let me try and get it out. I would say it's kind of hilly here. That's kind of interesting. I would say it is Victoria, but I'm not quite sure. Just outside Bendigo there. Got the right region. Let's go. Next one here, American bollard here with the kind of white reflector at the top. Though, yeah, this is a bit strange. It could still be a different continent. I've lost a bit of confidence after that South Africa one. The shoulders on the road are really interesting here. Not typical US, although certainly still can be. I also thought of like Argentina here as possible, but they would use single white dashed line, whereas like solid yellow lines. So yeah, we just have to trust that this is a US bollard, and I guess like northern Nevada, maybe? Okay, well it's just southern Wyoming. Similar kind of vibe, I guess. Next one here is Eswatini with this grass and this red dirt. You have to be there, and it really works every time. Okay, next one here is going to be Kenya. Now, it is interesting here. Do we have any like regional methods? It's very winterish road here. You often get that kind of winter stuff off on this road here. And we are kind of going east-west, so I'll give that a go. Or was this road instead? Also wintry on that one, apparently. Great to know, that kind of stuff. This is just the Chilean car. Often on the Chilean car, if I'll show you here, you can kind of see a bit of the black window here, which makes life nice and easy, honestly. It really is more or less unique to Chile, and you see it at least maybe a third of rounds in Chile. Okay, so moving on to the next round here, we're on 7, which I think is the best for the video. Looks like we have some French there, should be Canada. All things considered, Canada works quite nicely here, unless it is the US. So 5-1-4. Pole top feels good for Quebec. Yeah, the cornfield feels good for Quebec here. This plant here is a bit weird, but I think we have to trust the other clues here that would say that this is Quebec, and it is very nice indeed. Okay, next round here, gonna be, actually Nigeria. We got the Nigeria follow car there. Did think of India, of course, but yeah, it should just be somewhere out here. And it was indeed, very nice indeed, okay. On 9 here, very interesting. Look at this on the top left of the screen. We have like volcanic rocks and cows just freely roaming. I actually don't know what that means. Could this actually be Mexico? I really thought that this was Asia when I first loaded in, and now I'm looking at kind of the makeup of like kind of the volcanic rocks, and there's the kind of rocks in this field as well, almost making me feel a bit Mexican here. I could see it. I could definitely see it, but it is weird. It would have to be like Chiapas or something like that. Alternatively, like Sri Lanka, Philippines. Maybe even like a weird India tracker. I don't know, like there's a few things possible here for sure. Maybe even Indonesia is not out of the question, but I think it would be a weird Indonesia for sure as well. To be honest, whichever country this is in, it's weird because of the volcanic nature of it, I think. It could even be US, but I don't think you'd see cows free roaming in the United States. I don't think so. So, maybe Mexico? Maybe, yeah. I changed my mind. I think actually Sri Lanka's better. The problem is I don't really remember seeing such like black rocks on the side of the road in Sri Lanka before. So regardless of where this is, it's a weird round. I'm going to send Sri Lanka here though. And it was actually just Philippines, which was literally the first thought I had within the first like 0.1 seconds of that round. And we are indeed, yeah, near some sulfur vents. It's always going to make it tough, guys. I mean, obviously you do have volcanoes in Philippines, but it makes it tough to get around like that when you have such a kind of a strange feel to the round because of the volcanic nature of it. Okay, let's head through for one more here. Let's see how many we can get on our last attempt. That was nice, all the way up there in Sapporo, where I might be when you're watching this video. I might be in Sapporo, it's possible. But okay, let's head through to the next round here. Give the video a like if you're enjoying the stage still watching. That's much appreciated. This is maybe France or something like that. Not too sure. France, Italy. Italy, it's very flat for Italy, but it certainly still works. The Generation 2 makes this interesting. I think France is best, actually. The hedgerows and everything, surely France. Or is the UK? Wow. Very interesting UK round, and that is the end of the video. To be honest, guys, this is the night before I leave, and I'm pretty tired, and I'm getting up at 3:50 in the morning, so I'm going to end it there. Thank you very much for watching all the way to the end, and I'll see you guys in a video very soon. Till next time, and goodbye.